You know the words, help me out here. Oh, beautiful for spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountain majesties above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed His grace on thee and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea.
Good morning. Rise in freedom. I'm Austin Peterson. Welcome to the Wake Up America show. Let's get it on. Click that like button. Today's your first time watching the Wake Up America show. You might not know what to do. You click the like button, then you click the follow button, and you come back and join us every Monday through Friday from 7 to 9 a.m. Central Time. It's morning in America again. After delivering a sober inaugural address that called for a new golden age in America, President Trump cannonballed into an overflow room at the Capitol where he shed the teleprompter and told the assembled crowd what was really on his mind. I had a couple of things to say that were extremely controversial, but between JD and Melania and everybody else, I said, please, sir, it's such a beautiful, unified speech. Please, sir, don't say those things. I think this was a better speech than the one I gave upstairs. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Wake Up America show. It's the Wake Up America show. 5 years after he left Washington and less than 2 hours after he became president, Trump made it clear that he would be governing on his own terms, and he had no interest in muting the persona that helped him to secure his return to the White House. Good. You'll love to see it. His first day in office showed a willingness to ping pong between serious and stunning, participating in White House rituals 1 minute and then whipping up his devoted supporters in the next. And while former President Joe Biden was tightly managed by his advisors, because he had to be, Trump made it clear he will resist efforts by friends, allies, and advisors to constrain him. Glad to have everybody here today. It's nice to see Sign of Jonah, Quest Fanning, Amy J.E.'s, David Lee, BB for Liberty, Dad Bod Baboon, Mongoose 87, Floby Tenderson, Cecilia H., and so many other friends. Good morning, my little pineapples.
Good morning, pineapple. Looking very good, very nice.
Good morning, pineapple. Looking very good, very nice. And as Carrie Underwood sang the, not Stars and Stripes Forever, it's America the Beautiful yesterday. I want you to carefully watch Doug Emhoff, Kamala's husband, and Bill Clinton's face after the performance. Take a look at this candid camera here. Watch this. Looky there. Oh, Bill Clinton's like, looking kind of good there, huh? Oh, very good, huh? Okay. Hold on, let's mute it just for a second there. Kamala doesn't know where she is. Probably on some of those, the Quaaludes that they're left over from the 1980s. You see that little right there? If he had a porno stash like me, people would have been like, "Oh, see, there it is. That's the moment right there." Doug Emhoff. Oh, she's looking juicy. Bill Clinton's like, "Oh wow, she's looking pretty good." Carrie Underwood there. Good morning, John Rail. And crown thy good with brotherhood. From sea to shining sea. President Trump pardoned on Monday nearly all of the 1,500 people charged in connection with the January 6, 2021 attack on the Capitol, hours after outgoing President Biden immuned his whole family from prosecution, as well as other potential incoming targets of the incoming administration. One of the January 6ers who was pardoned yesterday will be joining us live at 7:30 a.m. Central Time. So 20 minutes from now, we'll have one of those January 6ers. And he'll tell his story about his experience in the Capitol, what it was that he it's a funny story. You know what? I'm just going to let him tell you all the fun stuff because I don't want to give it away. It's going to be fantastic. You only have to wait 20 minutes to hear the story. So Angelo Pacheco will be joining us live in 20 minutes to talk about his experience making history yesterday. At 8 a.m. Central Time, we're going to talk to Camellia about all the fun that can be won. The Wake Up America show's Camellia Peterson joins us live at 8 a.m. Central Time to talk about all this and more. Now, it wasn't all hearts and flowers and rainbows yesterday. It was announced that there would be a 25% tariff that will come in February on Mexico and Canada. So if you are looking at buying a vehicle sometime soon, definitely try and get those purchases in before February. So another great moment yesterday that people were talking about. I don't know if any of you have ever had, like magical brownies before, but some people were speculating about George W. Bush perhaps yesterday when he made this face. Take a look. Here's George. He's sitting there, looking very serious. And then all of a sudden, things are looking pretty good there. Oh, now I'm feeling when the brownie kicks in. And yes, we are hearing, like Latrell over in the chat is saying, it wasn't all roses yesterday. There were at least 15 protesters in D.C. Now, guys, do not forget that it is. Guys, do not forget that there is bonus content to unlock. Don't you want to see it? Don't you? Don't you wish your content was bonus like me? So, how do we unlock the bonus content? Well, you've got to
Bless me with something.
Oh, God.
Money-wise. Please.
Can you suck it?
What?
Can you bless me with something, please? Head over to forlibertyshop.com this morning. Get yourself a nice hot box of coffee. Get yourself a delicious cup of Founding Flavors coffee in your cup this morning. The best part of waking up is, the Wake Up America show. And the second best part of waking up is drinking Founding Flavors while you enjoy it. Or perhaps a cup of our delicious For Liberty. Our brand new tea collection is available at forlibertyshop.com. Go and buy yourself a few bags of tea over at forlibertyshop.com. And if we hit $75 by the end of the show raised, then you will unlock today's bonus content, which is a fun one about some things that you didn't know about the 1950s. So if you'd like to see today's little mini documentary, then go to forlibertyshop.com. Bless me with something. And if you do, if we hit $75 again by the end of the show, then you guys will help to unlock the bonus content. Thank you to Joe Spinella for sharing this with me.
You bless me with something.
Oh, God.
Money-wise. Please.
Can you suck it?
What?
There we go, guys. So bless me with something. Money-wise. Yes. Floby Tenderson, that's not a very nice comment over there. He did pardon the vast majority of the people who were charged in connection with the January 6th protest. The new president made the announcement on the clemency after arriving at the White House, effectively wiping away 4 years of prosecutions, including more than 1,100 convictions in what the Justice Department officials have described as the largest investigation in U.S. history. They've been treated very unfairly, Trump said in the Oval Office. The judges have been absolutely brutal. The prosecutors have been brutal. I see murderers from this country get 2 years, 1 year, and maybe no time, but they've already been in jail for a long time. There you go. Cecilia asks and donates, says, did you see the Malay MAGA post yesterday? I hope Trump follows his lead. Yes, absolutely. Oh, yeah, the Javier Malay memes that came out yesterday were undeniably fantastic. But it was good news all around. Every time I turned around, there was some incredible, beautiful sight to see. America is definitely back again, especially when you see and hear news like this.
China pays 39 million and we pay 500 million. And China's a bigger country.
President, you spoke about inflation today in your remarks.
President Donald Trump, you withdrawing the United States from the World Health Organization.
Impact for Americans on their everyday costs to bring the costs down.
The biggest thing and factor for inflation is energy. They screwed up my energy policy, and then they went back to it. You know, they hurt it really badly, and then they went back to it, and they started drilling more, but by that time it was too late. Many of these things that we're signing and that Doug Burgum is going to be signing, and Chris Wright, who's phenomenal at, Energy, Department of Energy, we're going to be taking we're going to make a lot of money from energy. We have more than anybody else. We're going to make a lot of money from energy. We're going to make a lot of money from tariffs. European Union charges us, they have a VAT tax of 20%, but it's really much higher than that. And that's the equivalent, almost the equivalent of a tariff. And they're tough. They're very tough. They don't take our cars. They don't take our farm product. They don't take almost anything. And yet we take their cars, and we take their farm product. We take a lot from them. So, we have like a $300 billion deficit with the European Union. So we'll straighten that out with either tariffs or they have to buy our oil. The one thing they can do, or oil and gas, the one thing they can do to catch up quickly, buy our oil and gas.
Will you travel?
And they should do that.
Will you travel?
Agreed.
Yeah, it could be. I've had the invite.
President Xi invited
I would do
you
it,
to
yeah.
come this year.
Talking about the European Union and the tariffs, like, what do you mean when you say that European Union country, I think, is part of BRICS?
That a what?
BRICS. You said BRICS.
Oh, BRICS. No, I was talking about BRICS. BRICS is 6 nations. I think it's 7 nations. And they were looking to do a number in the United States. And if they do that, they won't be happy about what's going to happen to them.
There's Will Scharf. That's our buddy right there walking behind him. Everybody remembers Will. It's a Missouri boy there. He was a frequent guest on the Wake Up America show. My dad was so excited yesterday because he's a big fan of Will, too. You can see that here's Will right here handing him all the executive orders, doing all this. His personal secretary there in the White House. President, this was a nice little moment that they caught on camera yesterday, too.
Did President Biden leave you a letter?
He may have. Right? Don't they leave it in the desk? I don't know. Oh,
What's in there?
thank you, Peter. It could have been years before we got this. Wow, thank you.
What do you say on the outside?
Maybe we should all read it together.
Let's read it.
Well, maybe I'll read it first and then make that
That
determination.
sounds great.
Peter, thank you very much. I may not have seen this for months.
Happy to help with the passing of the torch.
I did. I left him one in the desk just like this.
There you go. So, yeah, it is customary for the president, the outgoing president, to leave a letter for the incoming president in the desk where very low. And that's Peter Ducey there from Fox News, reminding him that the letter might be there waiting for him. But the big news yesterday, all that the left could talk about was that Elon Musk allegedly did a Sieg Heil yesterday. Of course, CNN was all over it. Take a look.
I just want to look at that salute that he gave again. Just if anybody
salute.
missed it, we'll just show it again. He's just wrapped up here. You can hear the. All right, so we just showed that. We just showed that.
Right. Salute. This is quick. I think our viewers
Poor
are
Elon.
smart, and they can take a look at that.
Your viewers are smart. The lie detector determined that was a lie. Our viewers are smart. Hold on. You gotta love Elon.
I just want to look at that salute that he gave again. Just if anybody missed it, we'll just show it again. He's just wrapped up here. You can hear the. All right, so we just showed that. We just showed that.
Wait, hold on.
Salute. It was quick. I think our viewers are.
I'm
smart,
fine.
and they can take a look at that, but it certainly was
No, it was not something that we usually would see. And as you point out, it was very quick, but it was in a moment of intensity for him, and he came out dancing, and then he is a hero here.
I just want to say thank you for making it happen. Thank you. My heart goes out to you.
Oh, yes. Oh, my God. Oh, it's too funny. It's too funny. My heart goes out to you. Wait, hold on. I got to do it with both hands. Hold on. Wait. No, wait a minute. Hold on. You got to do it like the way the gay Nazis did it. Do you guys remember all the gay Nazis? You know, they would be like, Heil Hitler. You know, because like, there was, see, Elon did it like the full Sieg Heil, but, you know, if you want to do it like the gay Nazis did it, you got to do it like this. It was like that Sieg Heil. It was like, Heil. You know, you'd frequently see Hitler, you know, you'd come in like, you go, come on. I need something to like cover up my mustache on one side here. Hold on. How do I? Hold on, guys. Hold on. Let me get a couple of post-it notes here. Hold on. Here we go. Sig Heil! Sig Heil! Oh my God. Heil myself, heil to me. I'm the kraut that's out to change our history. Now, obviously, he wasn't doing a Sig Heil, but it is just too funny not to make fun of. 10 more minutes until we have a January 6er on the Wake Up America show. We can't wait. Heil myself. How does it go anyways? I'm the kraut that's out to change our history. Heil myself. Oh, wait. And now it's springtime for Hitler and Germany. Boy, you can't even like raise your hand anymore. Rhineland was happy and gay. Springtime for Hitler and Germany.
My heart goes out to you. It is thanks to you that the future of civilization is assured.
Do you think that he has any idea that even happened?
That salute that he gave again. Just
look at that salute.
Missed it, we'll just show it again. He's just wrapped up here. You can hear the. All right, so we just showed that. We just showed that.
right. And salute. It was quick. I think our viewers are smart and they can take a look at that.
Are you sure?
It's not something that you typically see in American political rallies.
No, it's not something that
And now it's springtime for Elon and Donald Trump. The U.S. is happy and gay. It's springtime for Elon and Donald Trump. If you're just tuning in the Wake Up America show and you're not turned off by the weirdness, hit the like button, okay? I was born in Dusseldorf, and that is why they call me Rolf. Exactly. You're not going to hear any other live morning news, political, right-wing talk shows singing from the producers Springtime for Hitler, and doing so perfectly on pitch. So why don't you click the like button? And of course, it's always wise to, well, bless me with something, perhaps.
Can you bless me with something?
Oh, God.
Money-wise. Please.
Can you suck it?
What?
Okay, so head on over to forlibertyshop.com this morning, guys. Help us to unlock the bonus content. Don't be stupid. Be a smarty. Come and join the Republican Party. Head on over to forlibertyshop.com this morning or make Rumble rants to help us unlock the bonus content today. Support the For Liberty Network. Every time you go and you make a Rumble rant, Not only are you helping us to grow the ideas of economic freedom and personal liberty and supporting the building of a new liberty network, but you're also putting food right in the mouth of the baby. So why don't you head on over to forlibertyshop.com, guys. That's the number 4libertyshop.com. Buy yourself a bag of tea, 2 bags of tea, maybe 3, and help us to support these ideas. We'd be very grateful for that. Can you bless me with something money-wise? 4 Pinocchios for our viewers are smart. Yes, exactly. Thank you, Amy. 4 Pinocchios on that one. The lies and mendacity. Yes. I really love this one, though, of Elon Musk not doing the Sieg Heil salute yesterday when the vending machine accidentally gives you 2 chips.
This is what victory feels like.
It feels like, oh, it's springtime for Elon and Donald Trump. Doge, the Department of Government Efficiency, is official, minus Vivek Ramaswamy, sadly.
This is an order creating and implementing the Department of Government.
You guys all remember Will Scharf, who's been on the show several times? That's his voice speaking. Take a listen.
This is an order creating and implementing the Department of Governmental Efficiency, known as Doge.
Okay, that's a big one.
Is Elon Musk going to get a West Wing office?
No, he's getting an office for about 20 people that we're hiring to make sure that these get implemented. We have a problem in this country. You sign an executive order, it doesn't get done for 6 months. As an example, when we allowed the J6 hostages to go out, it might not be approved under the old days for 2 weeks, 3 weeks, 6 months. You know, they had a good ruling from the Supreme Court, and it's like nothing happened. That ruling was 6 months ago, you know that. And it was like they didn't have a ruling. They've been treated very unfair. The judges have been absolutely brutal. The prosecutors have been brutal. Nobody's ever treated people in this country like that.
Mr. President, are you commuting the sentences of anyone who assaulted a police officer on January 6th?
Well, we're looking at 2 police officers, actually, that Washington police officers who went after an illegal, and things happened and they ended up putting them in jail. They got 5-year jail sentences. You know the case. And we're looking at that in order to give them we got to give them a break.
Interesting. So speaking of January 6ers, we've got one waiting for us right now. Angelo Pacheco, a man I know quite well, received his pardon yesterday from the President of the United States. He's going to be here in less than 5. Don't go away. Go shopping. Go to forlibertyshop.com, guys. Buy yourselves a box of coffee or a nice bag of tea while you wait. Help to unlock the bonus content so you don't have to watch commercials like these. We'll be right back with a January 6er fresh from his pardon on the Wake Up America show on the 4 Liberty Network. Tired of spending your hard-earned money on woke corporations that don't share your pro-freedom values? Fed up with sipping liberal lattes and progressive cappuccinos? Introducing Founding Flavors from AP for Liberty Shop. Get your day started with Washington's Revolutionary Roast. As robust and principled as the man himself, this blend is the shot of energy heard round the world. Or maybe you want to taste the fervor of freedom with Adams's Patriotic Perk. It's as dynamic and balanced as the U.S. Constitution, sure to awaken your spirit of liberty. For the aficionados, we've got the Jeffersonian Java, a complex mix of flavors that speaks volumes about your refined tastes. And don't forget Betsy's Liberty Lullaby, our decaf option, crafted with the same care and dedication Betsy Ross put into our Star-Spangled Banner. This blend lets you enjoy the taste of freedom anytime without losing sleep. No woke beans here, folks. Just pure, patriotic, pro-freedom flavors brewed with love for liberty. So why compromise your principles for a cup of coffee? Stand up for your values, perk up your patriotism, and start your day the American way. Get your founding flavors at apforlibertyshop.com.
Were you exposed to hazardous materials while serving in the military and have an illness or condition as a result?
If so, you may be eligible for VA benefits and services.
Whether you need health care or want to file a disability compensation claim related to military exposures, VA is here to help.
Visit va.gov/military-exposures to learn more and apply today.
If there wasn't going to be somebody who was a fiery champion of liberty, somebody who would get out there and who would be aggressive, and if they wouldn't do it with more fire or passion than I had, then I would go and I would fight this battle for us. I've fought for the principles that we all share. Parties tend to be secondary to me. We're here because we believe in the principles of liberty. I am not a perfect messenger, but I think I'm a damn good one. This is a replica of our first president's flintlock pistol. You have my full support, my respect, and my gun.
I think that at the heart of my philosophy is much more libertarianism than well, that's the fashionable word these days, I guess. A conservative is no longer just that. He's a libertarian and always has been.
Yet any time you and I question the schemes of the do-gooders, we're denounced as being against their humanitarian goals. They say we're always against things, we're never for anything.
What is fascism? Fascism is private ownership, private enterprise, but total government control and regulation.
Well, the trouble with our liberal friends is not that they're ignorant. It's just that they know so much that isn't so. If we lose freedom here, there's no place to escape to. This is the last stand on earth. This is the issue of this election. Whether we believe in our capacity for self-government or whether we abandon the American Revolution and confess that a little intellectual elite in a far distant capital can plan our lives for us better than we can plan them ourselves.
The conservative, so-called, is the one that says less government, get off my back, get out of my pocket, and let me have more control of my own destiny.
What would happen if I had to pick up the phone, call 911 for one of my family members or one of my...
So this is January 6th. These are the hostages. Approximately 1,500 for a pardon.
Yes.
Full pardon.
Full pardon or commutations?
Full pardon. So this is January.
Full pardon. Good morning. Rise and freedom. I'm Austin Peterson. You're watching and listening to the Wake Up America show on the For Liberty Network. Click the like button, and if you haven't already, make sure you click the follow button as well so that you can get notifications when we go live. This show is Monday through Friday, 7 to 9 a.m. Central Time. It's a 2-hour tour de force of economic freedom and personal liberty. It's fun, it's funny, it's a great way to start your day. I hope you'll come back and join us every morning, Mondays through Fridays, 7 to 9 a.m. Central Time. So if you click that follow button, you'll get notifications on your mobile device whenever we go live, which is right here at rumble.com/AP for Liberty. This is the Wake Up America show, and it's time to rise and freedom. 1,500 January 6ers pardoned or having their sentences commuted. One man who will go down in history as one of those people who did absolutely nothing wrong, but who was the victim of big government, joins us live right now. He's our friend and big-time supporter of the For Liberty Network, helping us to build it on the back end. His name is Angelo Pacheco, and he's joining us live from Kansas City right now. Good morning, Angelo. Welcome to the Wake Up America show.
Good morning, Austin. Finally here.
Yeah.
Glad to be here.
Angelo, how are you feeling today?
I'm feeling great, feeling euphoric. The weight has been lifted off my shoulders, so it feels like the start of a new life. I just turned 25, so I'm ready to go.
All right, Angelo. So talk us through this. Give us the history of what happened, and then after that, we'll talk a little bit about how we know each other and came to work together. But I want to hear your January 6th story, your story of arriving at the Capitol and what happened afterwards, subsequently. So, just tell us the whole thing. Give the Reader's Digest version.
So, like hundreds of thousands of people, I was there protesting the stolen election. And when I was there, I watched a little bit of the speeches beforehand next to the eclipse. And then I walked over to the Capitol because there was a guy saying, "Hey, we're all going to the Capitol. We're all going to the Capitol." You might remember his name from the news. His name is Ray Epps. I saw him there in the street directing people to the Capitol. So I said, "Hey, this might be interesting. What's going to happen?" So towards the end of the speeches, I started walking over. They began to fight with police and go through the barricade. I didn't know what to do. I was just observing at the time. And then I found myself walking closer, still observing. And I watched everything happen as it went down. Now, as people started fighting with police, I did go watch the rest of it from a bar across the street. Then I saw on Fox News that they're letting people into the Capitol. I said, "No way. There's no way they're doing that. That's insane." So here I am, curious as a cat. I walked up, stepped one foot in the door for 6 seconds, and then my life was ruined by the Biden regime.
And saved by the Trump regime. So you did go into the Capitol, and it was confirmed that you were in the Capitol for 6 seconds.
I walked a foot into the Capitol for 6 seconds. There's police officers standing on the side in the hallway. I asked, "Are you letting people in?" And they said, "You can come in if you want." And that's actually the first time I've ever shared that. But it was surreal. I took a picture when I was up there. Probably shouldn't have done that, but it's all over now. You could see me in the documentaries. I was actually watching it from the scaffolding, hanging off there. It's that what people told me, iconic picture of me just standing there, watching, hanging off of the scaffolding. So it's wild. It's a wild story.
So you walked into the Capitol and you were there for 6 seconds. So, I mean, when the police officers were like, "You can go in if you want," I mean, you decided not to? I mean, you didn't trust them? I mean, you had a bad feeling?
Yeah, I had a bad feeling. It surely felt like a trap when they're saying, "Yeah, you can come in if you want." And I said, "You know what? That's a trap. I'm going home." And that's exactly what I did. I walked all the way back, just thinking, "Wow, I can't believe any of this is happening. This is crazy."
Right. So you still got charged, though. I mean, what was the process like? How did you know that you were going to get busted? And I mean, did the cops show up to your house, take you to jail? What was the story after?
So the feds came to my house and they basically said, "Hey, we just want to ask you some questions about you going to DC." And they said, "Well, this could be," I'm like, "Well, I don't really want to talk to you." And they said, this could all be a funny story. A year from now, you'll probably just forget about this." And they didn't come back for around 6 to 8 months, and they did, and they said, "Well, we're probably going to charge you. They basically hinted at I needed to get a lawyer, so I got a lawyer. Everything was set up. I was arraigned in the Kansas City Western District courthouse, where I'm going later this morning after the show. And they charged me with 4 misdemeanors, 2 Class A's, 2 Class B's. I pled guilty to the Class B misdemeanor of parading and picketing inside of a Capitol building.
Okay, so you got a misdemeanor, not a felony. And what was the result of that? What did you receive as a sentence?
So I'll tell you what the government asked for. The government asked for 60 days of home detention and 3 years of probation, and a $500 restitution. Um, my lawyer, we had a great sentencing report. It was the shortest they've ever seen. You know, I have no criminal record. I was a special needs teacher at the time, going to EMT school. Um, I don't drink, I don't smoke. It was the shortest they ever said, and so the government decided, or the judge decided, to give me 2 years of probation, 30 days home detention via ankle monitor, and $500 restitution, 60 hours of community service.
So, Angelo, what was life like after you were convicted? I mean, how were you treated?
You know, I was treated pretty good. Um, it wasn't too terrible. I lost a few, people in my life, but it wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. You know, I lost some, business friends, some business opportunities. That's for sure. In the Hispanic community here in Kansas City that I was, greatly a part of. But other than that, even my liberal Aunt Peggy, who I love dearly, she was the maddest of everyone. And she said, "This is just so wrong what they're doing to you." I couldn't believe it. My liberal hippie Aunt Peggy just was the maddest one. So, I wasn't treated bad afterwards, which is astonishing. My name was in the newspaper quite a bit. I made it to national news, being only in there for 6 seconds. Some of these news articles were honestly mocking the government, saying 6 seconds. Why are we wasting time on this?
Hmm. Now, I know that, we need to be careful about certain things that we say about this, but I will say that, well, I think probably the most surprising thing to me was that there were still some people on the right who treated you differently, who sort of turned their back on you in a way that was, to me, I mean, it infuriated me once I heard that, because you and I, we know each other from, 7 or 8 years ago when I ran for the U.S. Senate. I don't remember. How old were you when you worked on my U.S. Senate campaign?
I was 17 years old when I happened to DM your Twitter asking if I can work for you.
Yeah, so you sent me a DM. You were 17 years old. I've got a picture of you, a skinny little twerp, with the Make Taxation Theft Again phone cases that you helped us to make. You ran our store at the time, and now you're still running my store, but this time it's forlibertyshop.com. But once I heard that, the situation that you were in, I was just like, there's no way that, I'm going to let Angelo get treated like this. So we've been working together now on For Liberty Shop and, the Stonegate Pictures, my business that owns and controls all my intellectual property now, as well as you've been a big part of helping to build the For Liberty network. So I just want to say, hey, Angelo, thanks for all you've done to help, this show and the other shows. It's been really exciting to see what we've built. And I mean, last year was a pretty incredible year for us, wasn't it?
Yep, we doubled everything. It was a great opportunity, and an opportunity that I'm thankful for, because out of everybody that did call me afterwards, there's only a handful of people, and only 2 of those people offered me a place in their business, and Austin was one of them. So for that, I mean, I posted on Twitter, but I'd follow you into exile, brother.
Well, we won't have to, brother. We're not exiled anymore because you have just been given your official pardon, Napoleon. You can wage your second campaign. I'm really happy to hear all of this, Angelo, because you're such a good guy, and I really think that you deserve the best. Extremely talented, and I think you're going to go on to do wonderful and amazing things even on your own in the coming years. So what's next for you, Angelo? Do you have any big plans for the future? Anything that you want to do? I mean, you've kind of been sort of locked in because it's like you couldn't travel more than 50 miles away from your home. So do you plan on like driving to the mountains of Colorado or going and doing anything fun, any vacations where you road trip perhaps?
I'm actually going to go visit my grandmother, my 98-year-old grandmother, up in Omaha, Nebraska. I'm going to go visit her as my first travel where I don't have to fill out a travel request. And then I might go to Argentina afterwards, since I can get my passport back, travel out of the country.
So I'm going to give you a pair of the Javier Milei Afuera shoes, and all I ask is that you just take them to the Presidential Palace, 1000 Buenos Aires Way, deliver them to Javier Milei for us, Angelo, and I'd be very grateful.
Happy to do it.
It does feel like it almost is like a dream. Like it was like you were in a nightmare, and then all of a sudden it was like last night when we were talking. You're kind of like you feel like you're living in a movie. I mean, can you even believe that everything happened in the best possible way?
You know, I knew he was gonna part of me. I knew, and there was a part of me where, there's always that little sliver where it's like, oh, what if it doesn't happen? Um, so it does feel like a movie, and I can't believe this sort of thing happens in our country, in our United States. Something that we see in stories and movies and in Russia and North Korea. A good friend of mine here is from Venezuela. He hasn't been back since Maduro took power. He actually grew up with Maduro and was ousted by him. And after the 2020 election, I'll never forget this. He told me it's like he's watching the same movie as when he was in Venezuela. So hopefully we've stopped that now.
Angela, are there any lessons that you learned throughout this, or any kind of words of wisdom that you want to share with our audience?
Never give in, never give up, never stop fighting. Don't give them 1 inch.
All right, Angelo Pacheco, he is a newly free man, and the first thing that he's going to do, he's not going to Las Vegas, no. He's not going to Florida or the Caribbean on vacation. He's going to visit his 98-year-old grandmother. Angelo, congratulations. Thanks for all you do for the For Liberty Network. Oh, and I guess there's a chance we're going to have you with us on the DC Liberty Tour. Is that the...
Yeah, that's another thing that I'll be at. Hint, hint. Tickets on the For Liberty shop page. Get yours. Yours now.
Sounds great. So I guess we'll see you with us on the AP DC Liberty Tour, May 1st to the 3rd. January 6th, you're newly pardoned. Congratulations, Angelo. You have a wonderful day, and we'll talk to you again soon.
See you soon.
There you go. That's Angelo Pacheco. What did you guys think? Click the like button if you enjoyed that interview, and hopefully we'll have him again back sometime. If you'd like to join me, Angelo, Stephanie, Quest Fanning, Robbie George, maybe Camellia Peterson. She'll be joining us on the show in about 15 minutes. But if you'd like to join us all together in Washington, D.C., then go to forlibertyshop.com. The tickets are selling faster than I expected, guys. So don't get left out, because there's only a certain amount of people that I can bring and manage there for our first tour. And if the first tour goes well, guys, then I plan on taking us all to Argentina as well. There you go. So go to forlibertyshop.com, guys. Book your tickets for the tour. Remember, we've got a buy one, get one sale going on right now. You can get one ticket for full price. If you buy one ticket for full price and you come down here, you can see you'll get a second package, a second ticket on the tour package for 50% off, guys. So go to forlibertyshop.com, book your tickets, then book your flights and hotels for the AP DC Liberty Tour. The base package, again, one person available now. And once they're sold out, guys, they're sold and we can't do any more. We do have verbal confirmation at the moment for our first item on our itinerary, which is to do a U.S. Capitol tour to meet with Congressman and Dr. Bob Onder. We'll stop by Thomas Massey's office to see him if he's there, and then dinner at one of my favorite restaurants in the D.C. area, which is Super Pollo Peruvian Chicken in Ballston, Virginia. So delicious. On Friday, the U.S. History Museum, and if time, the Jefferson Memorial. That morning, we will do a live recording of the Wake Up America show, and it's an optional add-on if you'd like to join us for that on Friday mornings. And then as well, a private dinner with me, Stephanie, and Hazel at one of my other favorite restaurants in Old Town Alexandria at Chadwick's English Pub. Then Saturday is Revolutionary War Weekend at Mount Vernon, Virginia, so you don't want to miss it. Me, Angelo, Stephanie, Hazel, Quest Fanning, Robbie Theremin, Robbie George, you know him on the chat, all hanging out in D.C. May 1st through the 3rd. Don't get left out. Book your tickets today before they're all sold out. AP's DC Liberty Tour, May 1st to the 3rd. Book them tickets and see me and so many others like Cecilia H. We can't wait to see you guys there. Okay, well, let's see. How much time until we have Camellia Peterson on the show? Let's see. Oh, yeah, guys, and of course, bless me with something. Keep those Rumble rants coming in so that we can unlock today's bonus content. We don't want to get into a bad habit, guys, of not unlocking the bonus content. We want to be winners, not failures. So,
can you bless me with something?
Oh, God.
Money-wise, please.
Can you suck it?
What?
Beautiful, yes. Can you bless me with something? Money-wise, the Department of Government Efficiency is official, and gone is DEI.
So this is about reforming the system of hiring in the federal government to ensure that merit is the lodestar of hiring decisions.
As per the Supreme Court.
Other matters. Yes, sir.
Mr. President, here's a big deal, merit. Our country is going to be based on merit again. Can you believe it?
Diversity, equity, and inclusion gone at the federal level, and Donald Trump signing a huge executive order withdrawal from the World Health Organization.
I can live with most of them. They took a very safe route. They don't have any bad ones up there.
Withdrawing from
What is this one?
Withdrawing from the World Health Organization.
Ooh,
There's
that's a big one.
that's a big one. You love to see it. Ooh. You guys remember Will? I'm so proud of Will Scharf. That's a Missouri boy right there. Will Scharf is Donald Trump's attorney. This is just a funny clip of from December of 2020 when Joy Reid was asking asking the question, have you ever heard of somebody getting preemptive pardon who is an innocent person?
Have you ever heard of somebody getting a preemptive pardon who was innocent of all crime? Who's just an innocent person? Have you ever heard of that? Just somebody getting a blanket pardon and they're an innocent person?
But no, I think that it's an effort not only to prospectively pardon people for things they have not yet been charged with and may never be charged with, but also it's the president's own family. It's people that have been covering up for the president in addition to his own family. This is the nature of those the president has surrounded himself with, including his family. And that is, it's been essentially a den of thieves environment. And so I think the president used this as his way of trying to protect those that have protected him.
Oh, Adam. Adam. He got one of those preemptive pardons, by the way.
I was surprised that President Biden would go and pardon his whole family, because that makes him look very guilty. I could have pardoned my family.
Yeah.
I could have pardoned myself, my family. I said, if I do that, it's going to make me look very guilty. I don't think I'd be sitting here, frankly. If I did that, I don't think I'd be sitting here right now, because I would have shown that you're guilty.
I think you're right, President, and I think that's absolutely true. These were some interesting comments regarding the ceasefire in Gaza that President Trump said yesterday.
Mr. President, that you can keep the ceasefire in Gaza and conclude the 3 phases of this deal.
I'm not confident. That's not our war; it's their war. But I'm not confident. But I think they're very weakened on the other side.
How confident are you that you can keep the ceasefire in Gaza? President Trump says it's not our war, it's their war. Amen, Mr. President. So these are, I love the Vigilant Fox over there on X. The 10 most outrageous media moments for Trump's first day in office. Here's MSNBC mocking Trump's national emergency declaration at the border.
A state of emergency is officially now in effect.
I love it. Lesbian women and the men, the horn rim, is it horn rim spectacles? Oh, really good right there with the horns. They all look like, everybody at MSNBC just looks like Rachel Maddow.
On the border, does it feel like an emergency?
And so does Mark Cuban.
Where you are standing.
Feels no different than 20 minutes ago or 30 minutes ago or an hour ago when we got here early this morning, Rachel. The one practical change that we do know that has gone into effect here is that CBP One app that was put into place by the Biden administration, part of their stated effort to have a more fair, safe, humane, orderly process at the border, has been discontinued by the Trump administration and President Trump. I have to say, I've reported from this spot over the course of 4 different presidential administrations for NBC News and MSNBC. In the Obama administration.
Yeah, it was fascinating, too. So I heard yesterday that there was some app that illegals would use to try and get appointments with DHS, and apparently the app shut down while they were all waiting in line. Oh, God. Here's the CNN commentators watching in awe as Barron's towering over the audience, Barron Trump.
Yes, he's very tall. Dan Bass just looking at Barron Trump. I think he's like 6'5".
At least. These guys.
They're enamored with Barron Trump. Even the left can't resist the power, the gravitas of Barron Trump.
He's got two very tall parents.
6'9", I'm told. And he, and obviously throughout the room are various Trump grandchildren, in addition to the Trump adult children.
Kid's got good genes. I mean, look at this kid, dude. Look at this. You got this little chick right here behind him over here, right? And then you look at them, you got like normal. Here's Tim Apple from Apple. You know what I'm saying? You guys remember Tim Apple? InJam77 donated $5 to bless us with something. Thank you, sir.
Can you bless me with something?
Thank you very much. I think we've raised about $20 towards the $75 goal, and we still got an hour to go, guys. But keep doing those Rumble Rant donations or go to forlibertyshop.com to help us unlock the bonus content for the day.
As well. They were right behind.
And I believe that's Barron's grandfather, Melania Trump's father, next to him. She, of course, lost her mother.
That dude is freaking huge.
Not to separate the pardons that are happening today. So the reason why Joe Biden pardoned the January 6th committee and other Milley and Fauci is because Donald Trump, you're right, he ran and people elected him. He said he was going to seek retribution. Now, retribution is not a part of the Constitution, right? So we put those in place. I think it's unfortunate that he pardoned his family today. I am a Democrat. I think that it does cloud what he did so I think you should bifurcate those two. And then I think the pardons for January 6th are completely different. The reason why today feels so abnormal is because of what happened last year or 4 years ago on January 6th, something that none of us in our lifetime have ever seen. So on your day one, when you talked about, not you, Sir Michael, but Donald Trump talks about lowering the cost of eggs, what you do is you let people out who undermined our Constitution, who undermined the election, who undermined people who felt like their life was not better under Donald Trump in 2020. They felt like they wanted a different 4 years, and that's why they elected Joe Biden. So I want to put those pardons in separate buckets, and I think we should be talking about them differently because they are not all pardons are not created equal, in my opinion.
Interesting. That's CNN, of course. Here's Van Jones declaring that Joe Biden is Mr. America First.
Look, a lot of talk about America First. I hear from my friends in the conservative movement. Today, Joe Biden's putting America first. This is a tough day. You saw him put his hand on the car. It's heartbreaking. He's actually giving Donald Trump not just the dignity of a good transition, he's giving him a pretty decent economy. Things are healing. They're moving in the right direction. He's put in place some things. There's going to be a lot of red ribbons cut under the Trump administration because of tough votes that Biden got Democrats to take. So, I think it's an important moment. It's a powerful moment. Joe Biden, he probably stayed too long, but he stayed too long because he thought he had more good to do. He won't get a chance to do that good, but he's handing off a better economy than he got. And he's doing it in a more decent way, showing more decency than he received.
And the lies.
First, that's Joe Biden today.
The lies and the mendacity.
The former Fox host, now popular podcaster and YouTube hoster, I'm not exactly sure what to call him. But
what do they call Tucker Carlson these days? He's a former Fox host, now popular podcaster and YouTube hoster.
Tucker Carlson, also the former Fox host, now popular podcaster and YouTube hoster.
YouTube hoster? That's actually kind of funny. Okay. All right, guys. Camellia is coming. Let's give Camellia the salute, guys. Here we are.
That he gave again. Just if anybody missed it, we'll just show it again.
Don't want to miss the salute.
Up here, you can hear the. All right, so we just showed that. We just showed that.
Right. It's worth salute. It was quick. I think our viewers are smart and
you think
take
that?
A look at that, but it certainly was. It's not something that you typically see at American political rallies. Put it that way.
No, it was not something that you usually would see. And it was quick, as you point out. It was very quick, but it was in a moment of intensity for him as he came out dancing.
Oh my gosh. All right. Camellia Peterson coming up next, guys. It's the Wake Up America show on the 4 Liberty Network. Guys, head to the Griff Shop. Buy some coffee. Buy some tea. We'll be right back.
The hazardous materials while serving in the military and have an illness or condition as a result.
Would get out there and would be aggressive, and if they wouldn't do it with more fire or passion than I had, then I would go and I would fight this battle for us. I've fought for the principles that we all share. Parties tend to be secondary to me. We're here because we believe in the principles of liberty. I am not a perfect messenger, but I think I'm a damn good one. This is a replica of our first president's flintlock pistol. You have my full support, my respect, and my gun.
I think that the heart of my philosophy is much more libertarianism than well, that's the fashionable word these days, I guess. A conservative is no longer just that. He's a libertarian and always has been.
Yet any time you and I question the schemes of the do-gooders, we're denounced as being against their humanitarian goals. They say we're always against things, we're never for anything.
What is fascism? Fascism is private ownership, private enterprise, but total government control and regulation.
Well, the trouble with our liberal friends is not that they're ignorant. It's just that they know so much that isn't so. If we lose freedom here, there's no place to escape to. This is the last stand on earth. This is the issue of this election. Whether we believe in our capacity for self-government or whether we abandon the American Revolution and confess that a little intellectual elite in a far distant capital can plan our lives for us better than we can plan them ourselves.
The conservative, so-called, is the one that says less government, get off my back, get out of my pocket, and let me have more control of my own destiny.
If I had to pick up the phone, call 911 for one of my family members or one of my neighbors, what would I do if no one was on the other end to respond? What if there was no 911? So you can be a part of the solution.
Anybody can be a firefighter. Male, female, younger, older.
We have school teachers. We have leaders in business.
Is me, you, anyone that wants to be. There is no typical firefighter.
Do you hate the deep state? Do you reject the Antichrist in all his ways? Do you believe that aliens controlled LBJ to assassinate John F. Kennedy? Did you know that the...
What's going on here? Wait a minute, hold on. Can we just pause here just a moment? Here's Mark Zuckerberg. And here he is. Look at his... Let's do a play-by-play here. Frame by frame. Mark Zuckerberg. What's Marky looking at over here? There he is. Mark Zuckerberg. There, roll the tape. Back and to the left. Back and to the left. Back and to the left. Later, Mark Zuckerberg was spotted with his wife. Here's the photograph of him saying, no, babe, I didn't. It was a bad angle. You can see right here, my eyes were looking across the row. Yeah, see, well, if you zoom in here, well, yeah, you can see it better. Oh, well, poor Mark Zuckerberg. It's the most normal human thing we've ever seen him do. Good morning. Good morning, pineapples. Welcome to the Wake Up America show. I'm Austin Peterson. We're glad and thankful to have you here. Joining us now live on the Wake Up America show to react to everything that's happening, so many things happening, is our good friend, Camelia Peterson. Here she is, in the flesh.
Good morning.
Hi, CJ.
Who knew that Jeff Bezos' wife shopped at Shein?
Yeah, I mean, I saw a lot of women were like, oh, so tasteless. But I was just saying to myself, I was actually really proud of that, to be honest, because I was like, it just reminds me, a great set of tits means America is back again.
Yeah, I mean, for all of the Paris guys out there, I hate to disappoint you, but there's probably every guarantee that those were not natural, along with half of her face. But
I don't think most men don't care, and if they say they do care if they're fake or not, they're just trying to get with a woman who has real ones. The point is that America is back, baby. And not only is it okay for us to enjoy beautiful breasts in public again as men, as American men are back, but 1,500 January 6ers were given pardons and commutations, including our own Angelo Pacheco. Your reaction?
Saw that. That's amazing. I've seen some pushback talking about, well, some of them, as far as the blanket pardon, because there were some instances where some of those people did physically assault police officers and other people. They did, destroy property. That's not the vast majority of them, but there were a few who did that. So, I would maybe quibble a little bit with giving those people a blanket pardon as well. But overall, I think that he had to do that on the first day. Can you imagine if he had not done that?
After all the promises, yeah.
Right. So, I mean, I think that was a good thing for the most part. And amazing for Angelo, right? I mean, he's one of those people that just stepped a foot inside, right? There was nothing violent about what he did.
Absolutely. And it was a total crime against his freedom especially because I believe him when he says that when he walked in, the guards were like, you can come in if you want to, which makes me think that entrapment was a part of this.
Sure. I mean, how many informants did they say they had there? Was it 1929, something there were a ton of FBI informants there. That they're I kind of like to know, where are we at on Ray Epps now, right?
Mm-hmm.
Did anything ever happen to him? Do we know more about him? Because that there were people that were in there who were informants who were stirring the pot, and it doesn't take much for just two or three people to really egg a crowd on, and that's mob mentality. And there are a lot of people who think that they normally would not respond in that way, but they will. When your emotions are heightened and you're in a big crowd like that, people will do things they never thought they would. But yeah, it's absolutely, there's too much video of, them showing them, waving them on. And I mean, there's video to corroborate a lot of different things, but for sure.
Thoughts on pulling the United States out of the World Health Organization and the Paris Climate Accords?
Right. I mean, what's not to like?
I'm very excited. Very excited.
I'm getting a little tired. I'm like, what do I focus on next? It's like squirrel, all day yesterday.
I know, yeah. And a return to in-person work, a hiring freeze on IRS agents. Camelia, it's a lot of moving targets here, but pick one and take aim at it.
Right. No, so I mean, somebody said something funny about as far as requiring all of the federal employees to come back in office. I was like, well, that'll make half of them quit. And I was like, well, that's one way to do it. I mean, that's good. Let's downsize government.
Absolutely. You love to see it.
Some different things too, as far as the online presence of the government. The reproductive rights.gov site has been shut down. And there are some other things like that too, that I just kept thinking all day as you watch this stuff roll out, that the amount of planning and coordination that had to happen behind the scenes to make all of these things happen on day one. And to me, that's super impressive.
Yeah. What do you think about the fact that the federal government will only recognize 2 genders?
I like follow the science, right? I mean, looks like we're actually following the science for once. So no, I think it's great. And I think it's fine. Get rid of all of the DEI stuff, things that have just no business being part of government. And if private companies want to do that baloney on the side, they can do that. And we've already seen that they've done it and they've regretted it and they're quitting. And so this is just like this, the government catching up with that it's about time.
Any thoughts on the extension of the deadline for TikTok to be banned?
You know, I don't really understand how he can do something like that, given, you know, that it was heard in the courts and whatnot. But at this point, I don't know if it was Massey or Rand Paul or who it was that said it was like, who's gonna like make a fuss about it right now, right? Even if it's not really the legal way to do it, like who's going to take him to court over it? So, and also Rand Paul, I believe, has already filed a bill to reverse that law and repeal it. So there are already measures in place, and I think that's a good thing. I do think that there are steps that ByteDance needs to take. And we do need to be cautious about that. I was always in agreement with not allowing it on government devices. But I think restricting what people do individually is a completely different story. But I mean, I do think that there are some steps that we could take because we do want to protect our, you know, citizens too. That is a function of government as far as, you know, protecting them from foreign entities, you know, when there's real risk involved.
No, for sure. The fascinating juxtaposition of who's on which side when it comes to the TikTok ban is so interesting because you have like the kind of the traditional conservatives of the Republican Party who were all marching in lockstep for the ban. And then you have the populists who some of them were for the ban, some of them were not. But what was fascinating was that some of the populists who were for the ban changed their mind once Donald Trump decided that he was against a ban on TikTok. So you had like half of the populists were with the conservatives, and then you had half of the populists join the libertarians and Donald Trump, where we had been standing on the whole TikTok ban. So it is interesting. You learn a lot about people for where they really stand, you know, what do they really believe in, you know, when things like this happen, don't you, Camellia? We've learned a lot about our fellow Republicans, haven't we?
We have. And you always watch for the people who are consistent. They are intellectually consistent, and you know that that no matter who comes along, whether it's Trump or anybody else, they're going to be the same. And sometimes, you know, sometimes they're in agreement with the popular take, and sometimes they're not. And those are the people I appreciate.
Absolutely. If you're just tuning into the Wake Up America show, guys, good morning. I'm Austin Peterson. I'm speaking to my good friend Camellia Peterson. We are of no relation. Click that like button if you haven't already. And please, of course, hit the follow button as well on the stream. If today's your first time watching the show, we'd love to have you come back and join us. On Tuesdays and Thursdays at 8 a.m. Central, we carve out a space for Camellia so we can always get her take on things. As a fellow Missourian, did you feel a special pride in watching Will Scharf standing there handing President Trump all of those executive orders yesterday?
Yes, I did. That was so neat to see. And he's just, you know, Will is just such a very calm, unassuming kind of guy, just super laid back. And he's just like, I think he's perfect for that role for the president. And I think that he's the right man for that job. And it was really neat to see him up on the national, international stage, you know, yesterday as the most important parts of the day, you know, so to speak, were being done.
Thoughts on Ambassador John Bolton losing his security clearance?
There was like so many good things yesterday, right?
I know.
I was like, yes. I was like, our time has come. Like, Mustache Man is getting his due. No offense to mustaches.
No offense to Mustache Man, of course. No offenses at all. No offense taken. But Retribution is part of the incoming administration. And also, Side of Jonah reminds us, John Bolton and the 51 FBI agents. Boy,
Right.
this was a long time
Yes.
coming, wasn't it, Camelia?
Yeah, all of those people who lied, wasn't it about Hunter Biden's laptop?
Yes.
Yeah, all of them. Like that was like good. That should have happened.
Mhm.
100%. I don't, I think that, people could look at a lot of what happened yesterday and call it retribution, but I don't think that it's necessarily retribution. I think in pretty much every case, it was more like justice.
Mm.
Like these are things that should have already happened, and that they were finally being done.
Yes. Justice. That's the word for it. Thank you. All right, moving on. Next topic, declaring a national emergency at the southern border of the United States. Your take?
I think that that's probably the step that had to be taken. Like we are hemorrhaging at the border so bad that I don't know what all of that involves, but as far as putting Remain in Mexico back in place and not letting, I don't know that most Americans realize that when these people come across the border, it's not like they could just turn them away and send them back. That's not what happens. Like they come in and they stay. And that's the problem is that, the process, and that's the problem with our whole immigration process is that it is so incredibly backlogged that that's how these people end up staying for a long time is because we don't have practices in place to deal with it quickly. So I think that, that was necessary for him to do those things. And again, like he had to do that. That's one of the things that people were looking for and, absolutely had to be done.
Yes. The liberals were screaming yesterday about the penguins that will be on fire because of the executive order that will encourage energy exploration and production on federal lands and waters, including on the outer continental shelf and the Gulf of America.
That's so funny. That just actually makes me laugh.
I love that.
Is there truth to the fact, or is there truth to the idea that that's just a way of getting around that law that Biden made about it? Like, I don't know, like that sounds a little, I seriously doubt it, but.
If it is, honestly, brilliant,
Right? Like drill, baby, drill. I think that was one of the best things. Like there were a lot of these executive orders that came down that were kind of like omnibus orders. And I haven't seen like really anybody drill down into the details of all of them yet. But I know, there was an omnibus executive order that included a ton of deregulation stuff. And that is like, we need that so bad because this innovation has just been stifled in this country. And the fact that Elon has made it as far as he could, like Elon has been so smart about how he's operated his businesses in the sense that, do you remember on the right, not all that long ago where they were slamming him for taking government money? Because he did in his businesses, he used the system that he had to work with. And I don't know that it's necessarily, because he thinks that's the way it should be, but it's kind of like, should everybody get tax returns on things or tax credits or whatever? No, I mean, maybe philosophically in a purest sense, no, but as long as they are going to tax you and penalize you in all these other ways, like we'll take all the money we can, claw back from the government in any way we can.
Yeah. Let's talk about the Department of Government Efficiency. DOGE was officially launched yesterday with much fanfare, but missing one of its core founders. And there's so many rumors flying around Vivek Ramaswamy. I think we're going to have to spend a few minutes talking about this, Camelia. So big picture, your thoughts on the DOGE sans Vivek?
I'm a little sad to see that because I think that he brought something fairly unique to it. Like I think he and Elon have a lot of the same base principles, but I think that Vivek took it a little further than Elon does, if that makes sense, right?
Yeah,
And
he
so-
seems to have sort of intellectualized the concept more than Elon, because Elon's got his head in space, and that's totally understandable.
Which I think actually is what made them a good pair for something like that, because you had Elon, who's very pragmatic, hands-on application, and Vivek's got all of the intellectual side of things. I think it's not that Elon's not intellectual at all, but they are different in those respects, and I think it was a good balance. So I am a little hesitant to see what this is going to look like now, because my issue is like, if you don't have that leadership in place, for that North Star, like what does it look like? I don't know all of these other people that they've hired. Like, I don't know that I can trust them to carry through on the vision that was originally set in place. So we'll see. Like, I'm hoping for the best with it. And it will be really interesting to see where Vivek goes from here. I guess the presumption is that he is going to run for governor of Ohio. At least that's the latest I've seen. I don't know if there's been any changes to that. He did comment that he would be talking more about his plans in Ohio soon. So I mean, like, that seems to be what people think.
Okay, so I'm hoping that does happen, although I'm disappointed because I really, was hoping to benefit from the types of policies that he would enact on a national level. But if he can prove his worth as a governor of Ohio, maybe perhaps we could see him more on a national level in the future. But, there's a lot of rumors about him leaving Doge because, he wasn't willing to do the heavy lifting or something like that, which I'm a little skeptical about, right? So it just seems like there were a lot of people trying to deep six and undermine him. And then I saw that Steve Bannon was calling Elon Musk evil a week ago. He was saying that he was evil. And I'm just kind of this just seems to me like a gigantic hit job on what the Department of Government Efficiency is trying to do, because, deep down, fundamentally, many of the MAGA populists are at odds with what you and I believe, because we want to take the ring of power and throw it into the fires of Mount Doom. And they think that if they can wield power, that they can do it effectively, and that they, somehow won't become corrupted by it and become exactly what they're fighting against. But I guess that's neither here nor there. We'll see what happens anyway. The security. Go ahead.
I was just going to say, when you said about the rings of power, it just reminded me of what Glenn Jacobs had posted that you had reposted.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's, when he's talking about, he's quoting from Aragorn's speech at the Black Gate, and he's talking about, I see in your eyes the same fear that would take the heart of me. He was like, this day we fight, and, by all that you hold dear on this good earth, I bid you stand, men of the West. It's kind of like, we're taking things back. But also, I think that has been the message of hope in this, which is something too that, when we talk about, kind of the changes, the uncertainty in this, I think the one thing that's really important for us to remember and hang on to is that message of hope. And I think that was something that Elon Musk especially brought to the Trump campaign in the last couple of months. And it's something that he said in his speech, at the rally yesterday. And it really struck me, because I think that this is really what put Trump over the finish line, was that sense of optimism. And, Trump exuded this in his speech yesterday after he was inaugurated, and he talked about, that hopeful future for America. And Elon said there need to be things that inspire you. There need to be things that make you glad to wake up in the morning and say, I'm looking forward to the future. And he said that one of the fundamental, most American values that he loves is optimism. And I think that's something that we've been missing for so long. And it does, in many ways, it feels like we're kind of coming out of the darkness. And that I'm not don't get me wrong. I'm actually not going to say, oh, we're entering the golden age. That's a little hyperbolic for me. And I'm more of a kind of that's what I want. I'm going to wait and see. Right?
Okay. All right.
Show me the golden age.
Stop.
All
right. Don't pee in our Coke. We're still coming off the high that we had from yesterday. I'm still coming down a little bit. One of the executive orders that I thought was interesting that might have gone unnoticed in the flurry of yesterday, and I'm not sure if you saw this, but one of them was about promoting beautiful federal civic architecture.
So I did see something about that. I'm not sure. I'm curious as to the details of that, because this is something Trump talked about before, right? He's talked about this for a long time, and I don't know, he may have actually done something like this before he left office as well. But yes, this idea that return to, classical architecture and away from brutalism. And Do I think that's the government's job to do that? No. Am I okay with the government encouraging that? Yeah, I'm okay with that. I mean, and when you talk about, and especially in the sense that when you talk about government buildings and what we are going to put taxpayer money into constructing, like, oh my gosh, the Department of Education, have you seen that in DC? Because like it's that brutalism. It's
Yes,
terribly
it's ugly.
It looks like just what it is, right? It's gross. And so there's a lot to be said for beautiful things that inspire us and impact and affect our approach to life.
Yeah, brutalism is known for its use of raw concrete, often left unpolished, to show the material's texture. Other materials like brick and glass are also used, but in a very utilitarian manner. Brutalism started in Britain in the 1950s. It's derived from the French phrase béton brut, meaning raw concrete. And it was, it's all just concrete. And the executive order says that it doesn't ban other forms of architecture in federal buildings, but it lists as the default the following styles: neoclassical, Georgian, Greek Revival, and Gothic. Those will be the preferred styles. Yeah. And the order was critical of the modernist and brutalist architectural trends that had dominated federal building design since the mid-20th century. It described these buildings as ugly and inconsistent and aimed to reverse what was seen as a decline in aesthetic appeal. Now, let me just ask you a question. Now, we're going to get very esoteric and very big brain here, Camelia, as I ask you this question. Okay. So obviously, I love, the more classical architecture. Like Stonegate Farm, the house that I grew up in, is actually a Greek Revival style, which is, so I have, that's very near and dear to me. On the one hand, if you're going to build like a federal building, right, I like the idea of it being beautiful and being inspiring. On the other hand, the utilitarian aspect of me inside is that, do we really want federal tax dollars going to create beautiful federal buildings? Or do we just want to put our bureaucrats that we absolutely need to have? Obviously, we'd rather just get rid of all the bureaucrats. But if we have to have buildings that house bureaucrats, do they really deserve to work inside of like beautiful buildings? Or should we just slap them between two bricks and some concrete? It's my utilitarian side and my desire to punish the federal employees versus my desire to be inspired by beautiful architectures. So how do we square these two?
I am conflicted about this as well. We had a big brouhaha in Missouri over the Goddess of Agriculture series.
Yes.
Capitol building and her $400,000 bath, right?
Right.
And there is a debate actually in Missouri too about, because there is a lot of work. We have a beautiful Capitol and it needs a lot of work. So they're talking about, for renovation, it's a big debate. And like this exact question, like, do we still keep the legislature housed in the Capitol, or do we build a plain old building or move them somewhere else, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm conflicted about that because I do think that, from a utilitarian point of view, like you don't want to glorify government, right?
Right.
But at the same time, I also know that your environment affects your mental state. It affects, how you approach things, and it affects your spirit and your demeanor. And I don't think that that's a bad thing when we talk about the people who are going to represent us in government. I'm not sure that we want them surrounded by ugliness. Mm-hmm. I think that, it's probably better to elevate, that environment to a higher level, to give them something to aspire to, as far as, in terms of being surrounded by beauty, which, I feel so hypocritical and bad saying.
Yeah. No, I know. It's a real challenge. It's a real challenge for people like us who are very thoughtful about such things, because if you're an unthinking person, you'll just say, oh yes, just take all the federal dollars and spend it to make beautiful architecture and all these kinds of things. But there is an argument to be made to suggest that perhaps the glorification of government is really not what we what we ought to be in the business of, because is that typically when the government creates beautiful art, it's usually to glorify themselves or to glorify individuals or ideas that don't deserve glorification. And one of the perfect examples of this, actually, and if we have time on the AP DC Liberty Tour, I want to walk people by the Federal Trade Commission, because outside of the FTC are statues that are repugnant to the ideas of liberty, specifically because they depict a man who is reining in a horse and pulling the horse back, and it's supposed to indicate the restraint of trade or the restriction of free trade, which of course is at the heart of a free nation. So these are not just concepts that people can just, like us, can just sit down and say, the wave of the hand will make it so. But speaking of the wave of the hand, one last question before we let you go, Camellia. Now, you won't be able to see or really hear, quite understand what's going on, but I'm going to play this for the audience because I want them to see this, and I'd like you to react. I'll tell you what it is we're listening to.
Salute that he gave again, just if anybody missed it, we'll just show it again. He's just wrapped up here. You can hear the. All right, so we just showed that. We just showed that.
Right. It's worth
Salute.
It was quick. I think our viewers are smart and they can take a look at that, but it certainly was. It's not something that you typically see at American political rallies.
And now it's springtime for Hitler and Germany. Thoughts about the Elon Musk salute, Camellia?
Where are you going?
Your boyfriend's a Nazi. Your boyfriend's a Nazi.
Oh, he is like, he is, my man is awkward and on the spectrum. And, it was so fun to watch his enthusiasm. He was just like a little boy up there last night, right? But, it's so ridiculous. And it's been so funny to see people on X now posting all of the clipped out of context images of Democrat officials looking like they're giving the Nazi salute or whatever, right? It's like you could make anything look like it. I thought it was endearing, and he was clearly trying to convey to the audience that he, from his heart, how grateful he was to them. I don't know a whole lot. There was a lot of talk about the Roman salute. I don't know a lot about that and whatever, but it was certainly not a lot.
We'll see about that one. We'll roll the tape with CNN. Camellia, is there anything else that you'd like to share with our audience before we let you go today?
So I can't let this pass by without at least, doing the woman thing and commenting on the ceremony itself and some of the things that happened there. And can we just say, I know people are going to hate me, and this is going to, first of all, before I just say the bad thing, I better say the good thing. Carrie Underwood and the music not working. I was sitting there watching that live, and I'm like, just sing it, just sing it, just sing it. And I loved it when she started singing it a cappella and when she invited everyone to sing with her. I love that so much. And we need to bring back community singing and normalize everyone singing along to the national anthem. And by the way, I do think that America the Beautiful needs to be our national anthem, but that gets me in trouble too, whatever. But I will say, probably my favorite part was watching JD Vance and his family. And his wife is so lovely and graceful looking. She kind of reminds me in a lot of ways, when you talk about, I know she's not the first lady, but she reminds me of Laura Bush, just in the way she carries herself and dresses and her openness. She has a very openness to her demeanor. And so she couldn't stop smiling through the whole thing. And those kids were adorable, like the little girl with the Band-Aids all over her fingers, because that's what kids do, right? And so it was just that was my favorite part of the thing, and that we're normalizing having kids, at these public events like Elon has done as well. I was less enamored with Melania. This is what'll probably get me canceled. I couldn't stand her outfit.
The hat.
The hat, the whole thing. It was very severe and cold. Yeah. The whole vibe was just cold. And I think she was smiling and doing things later, but I don't know if she smiled once through the whole thing. And it just gave off this whole vibe she didn't want to be there. And I'm sorry, but I like my first ladies, warm and gracious.
Inviting,
and,
yeah.
Inviting, right? So maybe that'll be a little bit different, but it was a little disappointing for Inauguration Day. And yeah, I was not a fan of the outfit.
Okay, there we go. So that's what Camellia says. Her word is law. So let it be written. So let it be done. Camellia, thanks so much for all your time. We appreciate you very much. We'll see you on Thursday.
All right. Have a great day, everyone.
Have a great day. Thanks very much. Every hotsy, totsy, nutsy, stand and cheer. Good morning. Welcome to Wake Up America show. Don't do it, AP. Don't do it. Welcome, welcome, welcome. We are now only $25 away from unlocking the bonus content. Thank you very much to the person who went over to 4libertyshop.com and bought herself a bag of 4 Liberty. Thank you. Heil myself, heil to me. I'm the kraut that's out to change our history. Jose Palacios. Good morning, Jose. Mighty Megatron. Quest Fanning. Steelbringer. What's up, Joel? Brandon Meyer. Robbie Theraman. So many great friends. Whitey White 14. Steffi sold me on buying the tea. Thank you. Thank you. Oh. Doom, 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 doom. Yeah. If you're tuned in now watching the Wake Up America show, click that like button if you haven't already. We'd love to have you be a regular guest on the Wake Up America show. The best way to support the show is to go to 4libertyshop.com. That's the number 4, libertyshop.com, guys, and book your tickets for the APDC Liberty Tour. The APDC Liberty Tour is not sold out, but it will be at the rate we're selling tickets. Number 4, libertyshop.com. The APDC Liberty Tour is now booking. I saw Robbie Theraman got his ticket yesterday. Get yours today while we still got the buy one, get one sale going on right now. If you go to the number 4, libertyshop.com, you can book your Liberty Tour base package. You can also, if you like, add any of these optional upgrades onto your package. You can join a live recording of the Wake Up America show on that Friday morning. You can also book a exclusive Liberty Tour merch package as well and get a gift from me when you arrive. It should be an absolute blast. So make sure that you join us in Washington, D.C., May 1st through the 3rd. Book your tickets today because once we hit 30, we're donezo because I can't get any more people because kids are free for the tour. So if you go to 4libertyshop.com, that's the number 4, libertyshop.com, then you can do that. And you can also do like what our friend Mighty Megatron did and buy yourself a bag of 4 Liberty. Our patriotic premium teas are available for sale at 4libertyshop.com. We've got many delicious teas available for your shopping delight. Some of them are caffeinated, some of them are not. Here I've got the Heritage Hibiscus. But the number 1 most popular, of course, is the one that was thrown into the harbor for the Boston Tea Party, Boston Harbor Black. I love a good English breakfast tea. And you can get our 4 Liberty at the number 4, libertyshop.com. That's the number 4, libertyshop.com. And if we've got about 20 minutes left here on the Wake Up America show, you do want to see us unlock that bonus content, don't you guys? So bless me with something, if you will.
Can you bless me with something?
Oh, God.
Money-wise. Please.
Can you suck it?
What?
Ask yourself this, guys. Are you having as much fun as I am? I'm just having an absolute blast doing the Wake Up America show, building the 4 Liberty shop, building the 4 Liberty network, and hanging out with you, talking about the news each and every day. It's really a special thing that we get to share in the morning. And for some people, it really, they just don't think of it as deeply as, oh, it's a guy doing a stream and all this stuff. But it's an industry, right? It's a whole enterprise that we have going on over there. And it's supported by people like you. I don't need to have tens of thousands of people watching the Wake Up America show every day for this to be a success. It would be nice. But tens of thousands of people, it's very unlikely that those people are going to share the same kind of affection that we have for each other here on this show. We're a small but mighty group because many of you step in, you support the show financially, you click like, you follow, you comment. No matter what you do to support the 4 Liberty Network, I, Roman, salute you. Heil to thee. You're the kraut that's out to change our history. Folks, what a whirlwind it's been. You know, watching President Trump dive headfirst into the deep end of the executive action pool on his first day back in office. I mean, if you thought the inauguration was just about pomp and circumstance, yesterday proved it was more like a launch event for a blockbuster movie. Except this time, the plot twists are real and they're happening in the Oval Office, and it's affecting what we're doing here. I mean, we are friends of people in the White House. Will Scharf and now Angelo Pacheco, who works here with us at the For Liberty Network, now a pardoned January 6th. There's a lot to be happy about. There's a lot to celebrate. Now, we saw a flurry of executive orders that would make even the most caffeinated libertarians' heartbeat a little bit faster, from declaring a national emergency to setting the stage for what just might be the largest deportation in history. Trump's not just dipping his toes in, right? He's just doing a full-on cannonball into the swamp that he has promised to drain. But, you know, let's be real. While some of us see these moves as the dawn of a new era of freedom and less government overreach, others are probably biting their nails, you know, down to the quick, right? And that's kind of the beauty of America, isn't it? We're a nation of diverse opinions, where the debate is as lively as a bar fight in Dodge City. And thank you to the person who just unlocked the bonus content. We are grateful for you on that. So thank you very much for unlocking the bonus content this morning. You will get to see that now. Now, what does this all mean for us, though, right? I think that this is just a reminder that the government can move fast when it wants to. Even it's usually, you know, it's like as sluggish as a snail on sedatives. Trump's actions yesterday are a call to all of us who cherish liberty. Stay vigilant, stay informed, and never let your government forget that they work for you and not the other way around. We're in for a ride that just might redefine what American exceptionalism looks like. Whether you're cheering or whether you're jeering, it's time to buckle up, because the road ahead promises to be as bumpy as it is potentially liberating. So let's keep our spirits high and our minds open. This could be the era where government finally gets out of our way. Yes. Where government gets out of our way, where innovation and personal freedom can flourish without the nanny state holding our hands. Or it might just be another chapter of political theater. Either way, we get to watch, participate, and most importantly, here in the United States, we're still free to think and decide for ourselves. Thanks for waking up with me every day on the Wake Up America show. Some of you have been with me since the very beginning of this show. Some of you met me through other shows that I've been on. I saw someone said that they found out about me through John Burke. I would be curious to find out, how did you find the Wake Up America show? You can drop a comment in the Rumble chat. The only problem with the comments is that they go away, but I'd love to learn a little bit more about how you learned about me. You can send us a text at 573-319-1586. That's 573-319-1586. If you would like to join me and my wife in Washington, D.C., I highly recommend that you book the tickets today, because I don't want to have to turn away any of the OGs. And I know many of you are OGs with me and Hazel. And we already have someone who has verbally spoken for the private dinner with me and Stephanie and Hazel in D.C., but they haven't purchased that yet. But once someone purchases it, that is off the table. There'll only be one of those sold, because of course, we'll only have time to do one private dinner while we're in DC. But I'd love to get to know some of you better and to have the opportunity to see and meet you in person, because this is more than, you know, keyboard activism for me. For those of you who know who I am and what I've been doing for the last 18 to 20 years, you know, I'm not the type of person who's just been sitting at a keyboard talking behind a microphone. Right? I'm the person who has actually put my name on the line, run for office, campaigned, you know, for Ron Paul twice, helped raise $1 million for Ron Paul back in 2008, helped to get the most libertarian show ever produced on television, Judge Napolitano's Freedom Watch. So I'm not one of those people who just sat back over the years and didn't participate in our republic. I have actively campaigned. I have actively made thousands of phone calls to my supporters to build a U.S. Senate campaign. And someone contacted me yesterday, and you know, I think about Angelo Pacheco, for example, the January 6er, who he started out as a 17-year-old campaign volunteer and became a staffer on my U.S. Senate campaign. Then kind of lost touch for a few years while I was doing radio. Then when I heard that he was a victim of government persecution in January 6th, I reached out to him, asked him if he was okay, and he was scared. He was alone. And he was terrified because he couldn't get a job because people wouldn't hire him because they thought that, you know, he was tainted. And those were dark days for the Republic and dark days for Angelo. So I hired him and brought him to work here with me on the For Liberty Network and, you know, invested in him. And we've been working together now for over a year, and he's helped us to build the For Liberty Network. And now he's free and he's a hero. Which is an important lesson for us to stand by our friends and to support those who support our ideas. Someone contacted me yesterday and said, Austin, it was because of my work with your presidential campaign that I was able to get this job opportunity that I have right now, and it's helping me to feed my family. And, you know, after you run for office, if you lose, you know, people will try and make that your whole identity. They will try and make that, oh, well, you're a loser and you'll always be a loser, but you're only a loser if you quit. This is the lesson that I share with my students in my karate class, is that whenever they fail, whenever, like, for example, if they're doing push-ups or something like that and they fail, I'm like, you're not a loser if you fail. You're only a loser if you fail to get back up again, right? It's not about how hard you can hit. It's about how hard you can get hit and keep going and keep pushing. And now I see many victories for the ideas that I've been advocating for decades now starting to win. It's a personal victory. And I see the careers of the people that were inspired through working through my campaigns and through the help that I've been able to give to them, to see them now starting to flourish. So I don't see those campaigns as failures. Like other people from the outside might, but it's because they don't have the friend network like I do. They don't have Robbie Thurman and Andy Opperman and Mighty Megatron and Rare Camellia. Without the campaigns, there would be no Camellia Peterson. There would be no Wake Up America show. Like, we would not be here together, right? And I would not be building this incredible new Liberty Network if it weren't for those campaigns. It's not about how hard you get hit. It's about how hard, it's not about how hard you hit. It's about how hard you get hit, and then you get back up and you get back into the fight. Listeners are texting in this morning. One listener said that several years ago, a Twitter friend told me about a guy running for Senate who wanted to repeal the National Firearms Act. The rest is history, says Robbie. Yes. And then Sign of Jonah says that he found the show on the first day of Rumble. You had just gotten demonetized on YouTube. You supported me in solidarity against YouTube's decision. And now Sign of Jonah, one of our biggest supporters. And he's Sign of Jonah because he had happened to be reading and memorizing the book of Jonah at the time that he had set up his account. Well, thank you, Jonah. We're grateful to all of our friends here on the Wake Up America show. The good news is that you guys do get to see the bonus content because you did bless me with something.
Can you bless me with something?
Oh, gosh.
Oh, gosh.
Money-wise.
Thank you guys for your financial support, for clicking like, for following, for being with me over the years, helping me and my wife, Stephanie, to build up a new Liberty Network. It's taken the world by storm. Javier Milei is retweeting our content all the time. Argentina, the 8th largest country in the world. This is incredible. I mean, life has never been better. I think things are going to be wonderful. As a matter of fact, I think 2025 is going to be, for many of us, our best year yet. I hope I get to see you again, right back here again tomorrow with Judge Andrew Napolitano, my old boss, joining us here on the Wake Up America show for Big Brain Time. I'm sure he's got a lot to say about what Donald Trump is doing with his first week in office. So make sure you come back here again tomorrow, same time, same channel. It's the Wake Up America show on the For Liberty Network. Thanks, guys. Take care. 1950s America. Tired of spending your hard-earned money on woke corporations that don't share your pro-freedom values? Fed up with sipping liberal lattes and progressive cappuccinos? Introducing Founding Flavors from AP for Liberty Shop. Get your day started with Washington's Revolutionary Roast. As robust and principled as the man himself, this blend is the shot of energy heard round the world. Or maybe you want to taste the fervor of freedom with Adams's Patriotic Perk. It's as dynamic and balanced as the U.S. Constitution, sure to awaken your spirit of liberty. For the aficionados, we've got the Jeffersonian Java, a complex mix of flavors that speaks volumes about your refined tastes. And don't forget Betsy's Liberty Lullaby, our decaf option, crafted with the same care and dedication Betsy Ross put into our Star-Spangled Banner. This blend lets you enjoy the taste of freedom anytime without losing sleep. No woke beans here, folks. Just pure, patriotic, pro-freedom flavors brewed with love for liberty. So why compromise your principles for a cup of coffee? Stand up for your values, perk up your patriotism, and start your day the American way. Get your Founding Flavors at apforlibertyshop.com.